I'll be the first to tell you that I am definitely not the most successful trader that there is. And I didn't even make all of my money from trading, but it did play a very big part for me. And I've managed to rack up a couple really nice toys along the journey as well. And here's the thing is I'm not keeping any secrets from you in this video. You are going to learn everything I know right here. And all I ask in return is that you smash those likes up, you double check that you're subscribed so that you don't miss out on this time sensitive content. And let's get into it.
Over 7 years now, I've been trading these markets, and the Ichimoku cloud has persistently been one of my favorite indicators, one of my most powerful indicators in this market. Honestly, a secret tool, and I have made 3 videos on this tool since I first started to trade, but I'm going to be making this crazy strategy for you to show you how you can actually trade based off this indicator as well in this YouTube video. And as usual, the best place to be trading in this market without KYC is Blowfin, linked down below as a phenomenal alternative to Bybit. Be mindful of your country's local regulations, but they are giving you 15% cashback, meaning extra money that you can trade with. Depending on how much you deposit, you get 15% back, free capital. Any profits you generate are yours to keep. Super, super cool. More on them in a little bit. But the first thing about this indicator is that you need to get it, and you can do that by clicking this indicators tool up there and then clicking on Ichimoku, typing in Ichimoku. And inside, we're just going to go ahead when this loads up on the chart, and we're going to go ahead and double click on the Ichimoku here just so we can open up the settings, or we can click the gear icon for settings, and we're going to set settings 20, 60, 120, 30. These are the best settings that I've personally seen optimized for Bitcoin, and this is just how I like to use the indicator. I've also changed a couple of things on the style department here, just hiding some of the other lines, which I think, quite frankly, make this indicator confusing. I don't need them. I don't think you need them either, but obviously do your own research and see what works best for you. But this is an indicator now that we're in which can see the future. This is an indicator where you can actually see what's going to happen in the future. And if we go ahead and kind of like replay the chart to over here, you're actually going to see a bit of that power, right? I mean, this indicator was showing us that if the market moves up into this zone up here, in the future, we can expect a rejection to happen there, and bam, that is exactly what happens, which is just so damn impressive. And we have the same thing going on right now. Of course, by the time you watch the video, you might know what Bitcoin is actually going to do. But what I find super useful about this indicator is it really allows you to kind of plan further in advance to see what you actually want to do, and then take action based off that, which I think is a huge, huge deal. Because if you can see the future about where you might be finding resistance or support in the market, you can actually try to scale out of positions or into positions based off that. And I think with a good level of accuracy using this indicator, especially if you know how to use it properly. So there's a couple of things that are important to take note about this indicator, but really it's very, very simple. If it's a red cloud, it's bearish. If it's a green cloud, it's bullish. So you find resistance in resistance and you find support in support, and also the bigger the cloud, the bigger the kind of span of the cloud, the heavier that resistance or the heavier that support is going to be, right? So for example, here we don't have a thick cloud and the price can actually punch through it pretty easily, but back here the cloud is definitely a lot thicker, and you can see that it actually sustains the price higher, right? So when you get thin clouds, you're able to break them pretty easily, like we did over here, but when you get heavy clouds, when you get clouds which span a large kind of area, it actually takes a long time for the market to get out of it. I mean, we entered the cloud over here, but we didn't fall out of it until 6 days later, which on this time frame is pretty impressive because, if we take a look at this situation here, for example, it took us just 2 days to get out of it, right? So the kind of size of these clouds can tell you a lot about them. And then we've also got the top and bottom line. Now, obviously, they've got technical names, but we don't really care about that. You can see the top line often acts as support and the bottom line often acts as support as well on this indicator. Here's an example of the bottom line kind of acting as a bit of support for Bitcoin, and you can see it happening on all sorts of different time frames. I personally think that the 1 day is great. I think that the 4 hour is great, and you can see huge bounces coming off here, really bounces that actually define the entire trend, which I think is so powerful. And again, a huge example here of when you've got a very, very heavy cloud, you might not even be able to penetrate particularly far into it before you end up getting rejected on this occasion here, we just got rejected off the bottom line, and again over here. But again, what you'll also notice is that we start to attack the cloud while it's getting a little bit more narrow, and that narrow cloud is actually what enables us to finally start breaking up and out of here, which I think is so powerful for the market. So how can you actually trade based off this? Well, the first thing I've got to say is actually I'm not your financial advisor, so I'm not going to tell you how to trade, but how I like to trade based off this indicator is just to kind of see, first of all, have we started to lose important clouds, right? So right now on the daily time frame, for example, we had a beautiful cloud where we found really nice support right off the bottom of this level. We found really nice support off the top of this level. And, it took a while for the market to really bounce out of this range, which is nice, but we did manage to, after getting that bounce, we did manage to move up by about 12%, which I think is absolutely great. And I think what this has really shown me here is that now that we've fallen out of it, we've actually lost one of our really good zones of support on this market, right? And so when we look at kind of how to use this indicator, one of the best ways is just to see, look, are we above support or are we below it, right? Because if we're below support, then that can actually mean we're in a bear market of sorts, which I think is really important. It can also mean that if we slowly start moving up, we're going to start to encounter resistance, which can actually be the thing that triggers a bigger drop right here. And that can actually be something which allows us to position, right? So when we kind of lose a cloud, we can position out of the market a little bit. When we kind of trade up into the cloud, it would be very easy for me right now to just go on to Blowfin, again, linked in the description down below. And this is super cool because based on your trading volume, you're going to be getting an Apple Watch for free, you're going to be getting a Tesla Model 3 for free, or you're just going to get up to $5,000 for free to trade with as well. There's so many different bonuses. You guys have been taking advantage of it amazingly, and you've seen a lot of results, which is absolutely amazing. So when you do come onto Blowfin here, it's super easy to just kind of, see where resistance is up ahead, set some orders, wait for them to fill. In my experience, they're actually the best kind of orders. And, obviously, I've got to make this super clear. Someone's going to, take this too literally. Typically in trades you want to build confidence, right? Like the Ichimoku cloud is a great indicator. In fact, it's one of the best indicators in my opinion, but you want to use it coupled with other tools, right? You can't just sit here and use the indicator on its own because it might not be that reliable, right? I mean, it can misfire. There's all sorts of different things that can go wrong. But when you actually get like multiple different things pointing in the same direction, but they're actually different tools. For example, you've got the Ichimoku, and then you've got the moving averages, and then you've got the horizontal support and all that stuff. That can actually be a very clear sign that you're onto something good in terms of potential trading setups. And I think that's actually where the magic starts coming in. But to kind of set orders up here, it's super nice because, like I said, when you just kind of set and forget orders, you have the highest probability of not interfering with it. You have the highest probability of kind of setting a good trade and then not getting scared or not getting too trigger happy or whatever the case may be, and just letting the market do its thing, which in my experience is actually pretty useful for any trading strategy, because typically if you have a good trading strategy, then the number one problem is not your strategy, it is you, and you can remove yourself from that equation just by using indicators, be it like this or something else that you actually prefer, where it makes it very easy to kind of set orders to sell or buy in advance, which I think is super cool. I mean, if we take a look at some of these big movements here, it's very easy to say that while the price is kind of up here at $22,000, if we just go ahead and replay the chart back over here, it's very easy to say that, I'm just going to have some fishing long orders down here with a stop loss, I don't know, doesn't matter, let's just say 5% below, just to make it super easy. And I'm just gonna raise this, right? I mean, when 5% below the Kumo here, the red line here is at $19,500, I'm just gonna raise my line up, right? And we can see that kind of following a strategy like this, if we let the market play out, you're getting really nice entries, you're giving it a bit of space, and this thing has a lot of opportunity to fly. And, with a 5% stop loss, I'm comfortably using 4 or 5x leverage. Ghost, nay, Laney. We have the lights going out. Ghost, Laney. That is my dog being super excited. And the lights going off. But that's all good. We do get, an easy opportunity for me to kind of go 4 or 5x leverage. And if we take a look at the move that comes up next, that is a 40% profit, which is absolutely sick. Exactly what we want to be seeing in this market, because that comes before leverage. And so if I'm running with that kind of 4x leverage that I just described, I'm already in a 160% profit. And if you don't believe me in terms of how simple, not easy, but how simple this can be to make money, then take a look at this right here. This is, of course, my Bybit trading terminal, which I've shown you guys a little bit on this YouTube channel already. And obviously, sometimes I just like to kind of show you guys that, look, I can interact with this. This isn't a screenshot. And if we kind of go lower, there is my Tron position right there as well. So sitting in over 600% profit there and over 1600% profit there on my Bitcoin position. So it's entirely possible using these kind of platforms to pull off really, really nice gains. And all you need are to catch bounces like this with a decent stop loss and a nice kind of healthy bit of leverage to really blow the account up. And it also, one of my favorite things about this is it also means that you don't have to trade much, right? A lot of people, they fall into this really dangerous trap where they think that they've got to trade a lot in order to make money, but it's not true. You've just got to get like a couple of good trades and then focus on not losing your money to kind of hold what you have. And that's going to do 99% of the job, right? And we can take this over to altcoins because this will work on different coins as well. But before we do, again, just super, super easy to be over here on this market and kind of, let's just play it back to here and just say like, I'm probably looking to go short at this line right here. So I'm going to drop a line right here. This is where I want to go short. And then if I just measure kind of, again, 5% above this particular level as a nice, easy stop loss, just as an easy example, I'm going to enter a short right here at this red line. So I'd already be in. I'm going to wait for the market. Oh, it's getting a little bit scary for a day, but it doesn't matter. Again, I've entered a 4x leverage, 5x leverage short here. Let's call it 5 this time, and 25% drop down. That is a 125% profit. So again, more than doubling my money on that particular trade, whether it's the upside or the downside. Super, super simple. Will it work all the time? Absolutely not. This is the trading game, of course, so it's not going to be like this all the time. Here's an example where the market went up by 11%. So if I was using that 5% rule, I would have actually lost money on this particular occasion. But I'm making money a lot more often than I'm losing money, and that is the name of the game, because as long as I'm not putting too much money into any individual trade, I still stand to make a lot of profit, which I think is just absolutely amazing in this market here. Like I said, 1 day, 4 hour, absolutely great for this. But if we take a look at a couple of other indicators that are perhaps a little bit more volatile, let's go ahead and look at Solana, for example. You are going to see that different time frames work, and you've just got to kind of experiment with this to see what works. And the other thing you've really got to keep in mind with these kind of indicators is that, when you lose the kind of thickness of the cloud, when the cloud is kind of rapidly changing like this, it's not very useful, right? The cloud is only useful if you're able to maintain the same kind of direction for a while. And in this occasion here, boom, we're down. Boom, we're down. 3, maybe 4 if you want to count these. 5 over here. 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, just in a row, amazing opportunities to be making money off this indicator. But when you're kind of starting to see it rapidly change, that's when it gets a little bit dangerous, right? Like here we see a change, here we see a change, here we see a change. It's too often, right? We're changing too often. It just tells you that the time frame for this indicator is a little bit too high. Is a little bit too low. But if we zoom out, we'll start to build a little bit of a clearer image again. And you can just see how many times we're able to bounce off this. And like I said, seeing the future, it's just absolutely crazy. I mean, this is an indicator I've used at such impressive market reversal points. I mean, you wouldn't believe it. You'd have to be there to see it. Those of you that were on this channel all those years ago, you will remember this very, very well. If we go ahead and take a look at, for example, 2018, back what was happening over here on the daily time frame, just predicting where our resistance is going to be so well, showing us that we got resistance up here and up here and up here and here and here, and that we're going to trade into it before ending up getting that collapse, which is exactly what happened in the market. Bam, we traded up into it right here. My line is covering it because I drew it so damn perfectly, but this is exactly what happened here. Bam, we trade up into it. I actually entered a short position right here and made 60% profit, which was more than the entire move. And again, it was using tools just like this in this market here. So super, super useful, working out many more times than it fails in my experience when you're using it properly. I mean, look at this support right here. I mean, just so damn predictable. You kind of get the price falling in here and then bam, that's a buy. Bam, that's a buy. that's a buy. That's a buy. And again, just huge buys here, right? Like kind of working off these easy like 5% rules, it becomes very easy to kind of pick up these positions and see where that kind of risk falls. I mean, 5% down is going to be over here. So it might have just worked out. Maybe it would have actually gotten stopped on this particular occasion here. So not perfect by any means. That's the best part. It means that you can't rely on it too much, and you got to do the work on your own as well. And the more you got to do the work on your own, the better your system is going to be working for you as well. So I think that is absolutely great. And like I said, ladies and gents, best place to be trading without KYC, no doubt, is Blowfin. But the best exchange in the game remains Bybit, in my opinion. I've been saying this without any hesitation for years and years, and I still believe that to be the case. So if you want to check it out, the link is down below, and when you start depositing and trading using my link below, you're going to get $30,000 in free cash bonuses that you can trade with on Bybit, which is absolutely sick. Those of you in Europe can use the Bybit debit card and spend money in the real world, which is even better, in my opinion at least. Maybe it's not better, actually. And of course, Blowfin giving you a phenomenal experience on this particular crypto exchange with huge bonuses, and they don't even require a picture of yourself or your ID. You can get started on this exchange in just a couple of minutes. Even faster than that. Really just depends on how fast or slow you are at typing. They are lightning fast and well worth checking out in this market. But there you go, ladies and gents. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have, you know exactly what to do. Smash up those likes, double check that you're subscribed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.